Hello everyone. Welcome to Susan Movie Review. Today, I will tell you about a super exciting Hong Kong movie. This movie combines action and drama, and the touch of comedy. It's The Big Brother. There are many highlights in this movie. Not only are there exciting fight scenes, but also subtly incorporates education, youth and social issues into one. It's worth our careful consideration. Without further ado, let's start the plot. The protagonist of our story is Henry. He has been in the US Army for many years and has experienced countless wars. He has experienced many battles. After retiring, he decided to put down his military identity and return to his hometown, Hong Kong, and wanted to change his identity to contribute to society. What does he want to do? His goal is to become a middle school teacher. He came to his alma mater, Desi Middle School. As soon as he stepped into the school gate, the familiar yet unfamiliar feeling came to him in an instant. You can hear the noise on the playground. And corridors were noisy. Students were laughing and playing in groups. Compared with the strict discipline and the cold killing intent, it's just two completely different worlds. The principal received him in his office. The principal was actually quite hesitant at first. After all, Henry had no teaching experience. But when Henry took out a letter of recommendation from a senior official, the principal had to nod in agreement. But before leaving, the principal specifically reminded him that the class assigned to Henry was the most notorious class in the school. And no teacher dared to take it. No one dared to take it. On the first day of school, Henry pushed open the classroom door. He was stunned on the spot. The scene in front of him was just like a battlefield. It was a mess. Some students were sleeping soundly on the desks. Some were singing loudly, while others were absorbed in playing handheld games. Some even set up a small stove to cook instant noodles. The whole classroom was smoky. The noise was so loud, even in the hallway. Usually, the teacher would either slap the table hard or yell at the top of their lungs, but it didn't work at all. The students didn't take Henry seriously at all, and they still went their own way. Henry tried to quiet them down at first. No one paid attention to him, but he wasn't angry. Instead, he walked to the students calmly and started to comment on them one by one. He said to the student cooking noodles, "Don't eat too much instant noodles. The sodium content is too high, or your kidneys will be worn out." Then he walked to the student playing the ukulele and corrected his playing posture. He also joked with Bruce, who was addicted to games. "If you keep staring at the screen, be careful, the radiation will burn your eyes." He even joked about himself, but if it were true, human beings would have been extinct long ago. Hey, the students were all confused by his unique way. The original mocking gradually turned into laughter. For the first time, everyone looked up and seriously looked at the new teacher. Henry seized the opportunity and wrote his name and phone number on the blackboard. Oh, his look was so funny, which made people laugh out loud, which made the whole class burst into laughter. Some students even pretended to pick up their phones, saying, "Teacher, you'd better leave quickly. This is not for you." Say Henry. He just smiled faintly, but when the students started to make noise again, he quickly grabbed the chalk. He quickly picked up a piece of chalk from the desk and snapped it with an elastic band and accurately hit the fire sprinkler on the ceiling. With a splash, and the water poured down like a waterfall. The whole class was instantly in chaos, and it was a chaos. No one expected that the teacher would do such a cruel thing. While everyone was in chaos, Henry calmly announced, "Welcome to my class." This one move completely shocked the students. After class, the students went to the gym to smoke. They are the notorious 5 bad students in the school. The leader is Jack. He looks cool, but he has a crush on someone. He likes a top student girl in the next class. When his friends found out, they kept teasing him. His main method is Pakistani. He is very outgoing, but he is always discriminated against. Whenever something was stolen from the store, the police suspect him first. In fact, his dream is very simple. He just wants to be a musician. Dinner is a girl, but her father favored boys over girls. She was treated as a burden since childhood. In order to gain her father's approval, she cut her hair short and dressed like a boy. She studied racing hard and model cars, but her father still gave all his love to his younger brother, which made her feel very wronged. Bruce and Chris are 2 brothers. Their mother abandoned them, and their father was an alcoholic and was drunk all day. The 2 brothers had to depend on each other. Bruce indulged in games to escape reality. Chris worked hard to support the family. As for Jack's family background, there's nothing to find. The more mysterious, the more curious. In the cafeteria, the rich basketball team members came to provoke the 5 again. Jack was humiliated as a pauper. This made him angry. The 2 groups immediately clashed. For a moment, food and dishes were flying everywhere, and the tables and chairs were overturned. The cafeteria instantly turned into a battlefield. The result came out. The basketball players were fined. The 5-person group were suspended from school. Jack shouted angrily, "Is this the fairness of the school?" At this moment, Henry stepped forward and decided to really enter the lives of these children, to understand them. So, he began to get to know each student one by one. He helped Zufa block his father's anger and encouraged him to sing boldly on the street. He took Dinan to the karting track, through racing, and let the father and daughter resolve their conflict in competition and reconcile. He personally went to Bruce and Chris's homes. He persuaded their fathers to go to the alcohol rehab center, and even accompanied the students to face the darkest and most difficult moments. Gradually, the children no longer guarded against him, but full of trust. However, the trouble was not over yet. When Jack was working in a restaurant, he stole a letter from the gang leader Jin Ying, which caused a big trouble. Although Jia Ying looks smiling on the surface, but it's actually ruthless. He forced Jack to run errands and deliver takeout for him and gradually pulled Jack into the underworld. Meanwhile, Bruce was addicted to drugs, and his mental state got worse and worse. Although Henry tried his best to help him, he still couldn't stop it. He collapsed and jumped off a building after an exam. He was lucky and didn't lose his life, but he fell into a coma. The media immediately hyped it up and blamed Henry for everything, saying it was his management failure. Henry was suspended from his job and lost his teaching qualification. At that time, the students cried and chased after him, stopping him at the school gate, shouting loudly, "Teacher!" But Henry knew in his heart that he had to leave. His back looked lonely, but also determined. Finally, the college entrance examination day came. Students vowed to do well in the exam, to prove themselves and make Henry proud of them. But at this critical moment, Jianying did something bad again. Set a trap and kidnapped several students. When Henry got the news, without hesitation, he broke into the gang's territory alone. He fought all the way, and he fought his way through. He punched and kicked, and defeated dozens of thugs, just to rescue the children. Finally, he faced Jianying in a duel. It turned out that Jianying was Henry's classmate. In class, one of Henry's pranks injured his arm, which ruined his dream of playing the piano. Jianying was full of resentment, and gradually entered the underworld. The battle was intense. It was a fierce fight, and punches landed on flesh. But in the end, Henry didn't choose a fatal blow, but instead he bowed deeply, and sincerely apologized to Jianying. At that moment, Jianying's eyes finally showed a wavering. The student successfully caught up with the exam and handed in excellent answers, although Bruce is still recovering. But he showed a smile on his face. He said he would take the college entrance exam again next year. The school received extra funding because of the students, and also received extra funding, and Henry finally returned to the podium. In the new semester, he encountered a group of naughty freshmen again. The students arrogantly provoked him, but he smiled and used his old trick again. He hit the fire sprinkler with a chalk, and it sprinkled down in an instant. The whole class was instantly convinced. Henry smiled and said, "Welcome to my class." Zhao Kao Senior. This movie is over. This movie, it seems to be about a group of so-called poor students and a different teacher. In fact, it profoundly reflects the meaning of education. Teachers are not just about imparting knowledge, but also a guide who shows children the direction of life. With his military courage and sincerity, breaking the indifference of traditional education and truly changed the fate of the children. Okay, that's all for today's movie commentary. If you like this kind of movie explanation, don't forget to give me a like with your golden finger. And subscribe to my channel. Your support is my greatest motivation. I'll be happy all year. In the next episode, I will bring more exciting movie reviews. See you next time.